with Israel facing threats from multiple fronts, American philanthropists are stepping up like never before. I'm joined now in studio by Russell Robinson, the CEO of Jewish National Fund USA, who has been in Israel this week, as well as frequently. It sounds like you get to come here once a month. Not bad.
A little bit, at least every month.
So tell us, obviously we're very aware of what you're doing. So many great programs throughout the country. Obviously on this trip, you're meeting mainly the communities on the borders of the North and the South. Explain kind of your experience and where they are now with all of these months, almost a year of being displaced.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's one of the most grueling moments, but also the rewarding moments. And I'll start with the Israel envelope, where we've been involved for over 25 years. And from the evacuation and the disaster on October 7th, I will tell you that just this week, there's almost 70% of the people back in the OTEF. Jewish National Fund alone has a brand new community center being built 2 kilometers from Gaza. I was there yesterday. The construction's going on. And I said when I was on my own social media was, our enemies are listening to construction of a community center, of a synagogue, 7 new parks that we built, a new sports complex that we're building in Shar HaNegev, a resilience center in Eshkol, housing that is getting built today in the OTEF, and soon they're going to hear the sound of children playing in the parks. That is a rewarding moment, and if I can, I was there. We have had 17 weeks of American volunteers coming to Israel. 17 weeks, over 5,000 volunteers. And yesterday, I met with almost 40 of our American teenagers. Teenagers who I want to tell you came over on their own expense. And yesterday, for the past 4 days, they've been cleaning up the school, every classroom, every chair, every hallway of the school in Eshkol that is going to be next week bringing children back to school.
What an experience for these teenagers to come here and do this. I mean, you've been doing all this work, obviously, before October 7th. Explain how, obviously, you've been doing so much already, but how much are the new projects going to be changing as a result of October 7th?
So we have always been into strategy and into vision and not just into projects. Our entire plan was before, as part of our Negev plan, our Blueprint Negev, was bringing 500,000 people to the Negev. So ours was always a vision. And the OTEF, the Israel envelope, we had been part of the increased population. Sderot, when we started, 21,000. Before October 7th, 41,000 people. In Eshkol and Shar HaNegev, we've added thousands of new housing sites. We've built a place that's called Groove Tech. It's really a community center on steroids. Everyone from Israel should go see it, from a maker space to a planetarium that is there.
Wow. Changing
the narrative. And like I said, today, since October 7th, we have 7 projects under construction in the OTEF, and within the years ahead, it's the envy of all of Israel.
Wow. And let's talk about the North. I know you're meeting with community leaders in the North, and I know you have a culinary institute, again, was being built and planned before October 7th as well, right? Tell us about that. It was like in planning, no?
The Galileo Culinary Institute in the greater Kiryat Shimona area was under construction before October 7th. It is still under construction today. We planned that sometime, it's going to be a little later than we wanted, January, February, March. Just because of construction, we're going to open it up to the finest culinary institute in the world, where we're going to bring people to become chefs at a culinary institute in the greater Kiryat Shimona area, learning the 82 different nationalities that make up the beauty of the land of Israel. We're going to have a place, a 110-seat restaurant. It's going to be for thousands of tourists to come up to learn, from going to the experimental farms at Migdal and picking, and then learning how we grow fruit and vegetables that feeds the world, to how to cook it. And a medical center under construction today in Kiryat Shimona. Kiryat Shimona had no medical.
And let's just hope we get to the end of this sooner rather than later. People will be able to go home. This will also be emotionally very, very nice for the northern communities that have been living out of hotels.
Listen, it's distressing. I've met with over 35 mayors just in the past 2 days in the north, from all of the different regions and communities. And of course, Of course, there's a tremendous amount of stress. There's depression. There's and it's an inhumanity to man that nobody's telling the story about 110,000 evacuees and the amount of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, because you're putting people in no place. But I am telling you, because of us, because of you, because of everybody, the hope is for tomorrow. We're going to reimagine the North.
Wow. Well, thank you. And it's so good to have positive energy here. Really appreciate it. And thanks for visiting us.
Thank you for having me.